Hey everybody, Uncle Go Travelling here. I'm doing a 4-day trip across Peninsular Malaysia, stopping at 5 towns and city, all by railway and road. I begin in Johor Bahru, then ride up to Kluang, then Kuala Lumpur, onward bus to Taiping, then continue by train to Bukit Mentajam, and finally end in Alostar. It is going to be a cross-country road adventure. Landscape, local shops, train life, and more. Join me in this overland journey. First stop, Kluang. With the ETS train scheduled later this evening, I've just got over 6 hours, enough to wander, eat, and capture the essence of this charming town, Kluang. So, let's make the most out of it. I got off at the new modern Kluang station. Right next door lies something far more charming, the old Kluang Railway Station. As a traditional coffee lover, this is my must-visit stop. The legendary Kluang Rail Coffee sits right inside the old railway train station building, the same spot where passengers once waited for their train decades ago. I climbed the worn-out concrete stairs leading up to the old platform, where the paint is peeling, rail rusty, and the soul still alive. Here's a fun fact. Kluang Rail Coffee is officially recognized by the Malaysian Books of Records as the oldest railway coffee shop in the country that is still operating in its original location. Before arriving, I saw on Google Maps that this place was rated as busy as it can get. And sure enough, when I got there, the queue was snaking across the platform. In the end, I decided to save my precious minutes and press forward, though I knew I was leaving behind one of Malaysia's most iconic coffee experiences. After leaving Kluang Rail Coffee, or should I say after failing to get my coffee there, I decided to take a short walk into the heart of Kluang City. It's literally just a block away. Originally, I wanted to grab something small to eat, but my curiosity quickly shifted when I stumbled upon something unexpected. Kluang Street Art Alley. As I turned the corner along Jalan Merdeka near Kampong Masjid Lama, a massive mural greets me. Splashes of colors stretching across the back walls of the old shophouses. This area, known as Kluang Street Art Alley, sits right behind these buildings. It is a network of narrow back lanes that were once dark, forgotten, and run down. Now, the Street Art Alley is one of the most vibrant corners of the town, and a hidden gem worth exploring. One recurring theme you will notice almost everywhere here is bats. No, not because this is Batman's hometown, but because the name Kluang actually comes from Kluang, the Malay word for a species of fruit bat that used to inhabit this region. Another common subject in these murals is of course Kluang coffee, the town's pride and joy. It is amazing how something as simple as coffee can become part of the town identity. I mentally note to make that my next stop later on. You will also find artwork featuring trains, paying tribute to Kluang history as one of Malaysia's key railway towns. As I wander deeper into the alley, I find small cafes tucked between these colourful walls, alongside old family-run business that have probably been there for generations. The furniture looks vintage, the vibe is raw, exactly the kind of texture I love discovering in smaller Malaysian towns. Honestly, there's so much art to see here. Every wall, every turn reveals something new. But since this is just the beginning of my multi-day journey across Peninsular Malaysia, I have to resist the temptation to photograph everything. As I wandered through the heart of Kluang Town, I quickly noticed something familiar yet special: the old shop houses. Just like many small towns across Malaysia, Kluang is filled with these beautiful pre-war buildings, standing proudly through the decades. Many of these buildings share one distinct architectural feature: the 5-foot walkway, or kaki lima in Malay. This narrow covered walkway, mandated during British colonial times, was designed to shield pedestrians from the blazing tropical sun and the sudden downpour. A practical idea that became a signature of Malayan townscape, connecting shops, people, and everyday life under one shaded corridor. Look closely at the shop house here. Some have the year of construction or even the family surname carved right into the facade. These small details tells you the age, heritage, and the pride of the family that once lived or worked here. But what really makes Kluang unique, something you won't easily find elsewhere, are the stone lion roofs. Along Jalan Lambat and Jalan Ismail, there is a row of 8 heritage shophouses built around 1939. Easily recognizable by the lion heads perched right on the rooftops. These are called shishi, or stone lions, legendary creatures in Chinese culture believed to ward off evil, bring prosperity, and protect homes. You usually find them guarding temples' entrance or imperial palaces. But here in Kluang, they are on the rooftop, a truly rare sight. It is said that the lions were placed there by wealthy Chinese merchants, symbols of the success and guardian of the community. As I walked further down Jalan Ismail, I stumbled upon a massive banyan tree. From a distance, it looked like a cluster of trees, but up close, it reveals a small hidden spot with chairs and tables tucked beneath its thick roots and branches. Imagine sitting here in the early morning, sipping a cup of hot tea, feeling the cool shade, and breathing in the earthly sense of nature. It is almost noon now, and I'm famished. Kluang is packed with coffee shops and hawker centre, but I'm holding back, saving my stomach for something truly local and special. Then, by pure accident, I stumble upon a row of old, run-down shophouses, the kind you rarely see in Singapore anymore. Zinc sheet roofs, faded paint, cracked tiles. It instantly takes me back to the kampong houses my relative used to live in when I was a kid. And right here, hidden by the Mengkibol River, is the Mengkibol RiverHawker Centre, or 加冕小贩中心 in Chinese. At first glance, it doesn't even look like a hawker centre that I know, more like a half-forgotten market clinging onto life. But this is exactly the kind of place I live for. Dilapidated, colourful, full of characters. The stores here are weathered, some with missing tiles, faded signboard, but the smell of food and the sizzling woks still fill the air. Unfortunately, I came at the wrong time. This place is clearly a morning market. By noon, most stores are already winding down. Still, I trust my instinct. When in doubt, follow the queue. And that's how I find myself at a small store called Gerai Makan Botak, Mo Da Jia Fei Mian, famous for its curry noodles. I ordered a bowl of curry mee and a cup of iced lime juice to go with it. The lime juice at just 2 ringgit is 100% homemade. The taste is sharp, rustic and real. Probably the best lime juice I've had in a long time. Then comes the curry noodles. 10 ringgit for a hearty full meal. The char siu might be a little underwhelming, but the curry, oh, the curry delivers. After finishing my meal, I started walking towards the Kluang Coffee Factory. But something catches my eye. A cluster of ornate Chinese-style temples buildings just off the road. According to Google Map, this is Kluang Luan called Moral Uplifting Society. I paused for a second. A moral uplifting society? What exactly is that? It turns out this is a unique spiritual organization, not part of any mainstream or orthodox religion. Yet, it has found deep roots among the overseas Chinese communities across Southeast Asia. Curiosity gets the better of me and I decided to step inside the temple grounds. The first thing that greets me is a beautiful pagoda, standing tall and serene against the Johor sky. During Chinese New Year and other major festivals, this place transforms completely, glowing with lanterns, LED sculptures, and vibrant decorative displays. As I continue walking, I catch sight of another Kluang icon, the Kluang Clock Tower. Standing proudly at the junction of Jalan Lambak, Jalan Besar, and Jalan Yap Tau Sa. This clock tower is simple yet symbolic. Before coming to Kluang, I had no idea Kluang was so famous for coffee. Coffee is everywhere in Kluang. On the street wall art around town, the old coffee shop advertisement, it is almost everywhere. One thing is certain, I have to squeeze in one coffee trip while I'm in Kluang. Tucked along Jalan Besar, just a 5 minutes drive from the old railway station, is one of Malaysia's most iconic coffee destinations, the Kluang Coffee Powder Factory, Sendera Berhad, home of the legendary television brand coffee, 咖啡电视牌 in Mandarin. This humble family-run business has been roasting beans since 1966. What makes it truly special is their dedication to traditional coffee roasting, using a drum roaster fueled by firewood. Hello. Yeah, give me a croissant and traditional coffee set. I ordered their famous coffee sets, a hot cup of coffee paired with a crispy croissant. With milk, susu. Let me tell you, the coffee is fantastic, fragrant and rich. And the pastry complements it perfectly. If you are just here to taste, there's also a free flow kopi tap and free soda biscuits. And yes, you can try the signature coffee for free, for as much as you like. At the gift shop, you will find all kinds of Kluang coffee products, packaged coffee powder, instant sachets, and even ready-to-drink cups. While Kluang coffee is now available widely in kopitiam and supermarkets across Malaysia, nothing beats drinking it fresh at the source, right here in Kluang. It is a true kopitiam experience you cannot miss. I am back at the train station with about an hour to spare before my next train. Naturally, I decided to try my luck again at the rail coffee shop that I spotted earlier. The queue is still bloody long, but since I'm here, 来了就来了. And I don't know when I will be back in Kluang, I decided to wait. I really want to try this legendary coffee before I leave.
Later.
But the humidity and the restlessness are getting too much for me. After about 15 minutes of queuing, of heading nowhere, I give up. The line is slow and I do not want to waste more time. Before heading off, I take a closer look at the old Kluang Railway Station, right next to the coffee shop. Built in the early 1900s during the British colonial era, this model station once connected Johor Inland Town to the rest of Malaysia. While it is no longer the main terminal, it is still very much alive. Thanks to the Kluang Rail Coffee, serving locals and travelers since 1938. Here, old meets new, the scent of freshly roasted Kluang Kopi, the distant rumble of trains rolling by, and the weathered timber wall that once stood for over a century, all whispering stories of the past. Although the old train station is no longer a stop on the main line, this station is a living time capsule, a taste of Malaysia railway heritage, brewing memories that linger long after you leave Kluang. As the day winds down in Kluang, I cannot help but marvel at how quietly authentic this little Johor town is. Kluang is not packed with flashy attraction or polished tourist spots. And that's exactly its charm. Kluang feels raw, real, and wonderfully unpretentious. Surely, I did not get to taste the famous real coffee this time, but that's part of the adventure. Sometimes you don't see it all in one trip. And honestly, it gives me another reason to come back again. If you have enjoyed this slow local journey, the diesel train vibes and the aroma of Kluang coffee and the small town spirit, don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video. I am Uncle Go Travelling, and up next, the fast ETS electric train from Kluang to Kuala Lumpur. Buckle up, the ride is about to speed up.